The king in the north! The king in the north!
Yo, as always, like, share, subscribe. Now let's just get into it. So Michigan will play Alabama. What is that? January 1st. I believe the game is at like 4:30 or 5 something. I'm sure somebody in the comments will correct me. But in this one, Bama's Bama. It's not the Bama we all know, from the dynasty, I'll say, but it's still Bama. So you have to give them a certain amount of respect. You can't take them lightly, but you don't want to think that they're unbeatable, because they're definitely beatable. Texas beat them earlier this year. But you still have to take them very serious, because Nick Saban takes his opponents serious. Nick Saban knows, I'm 2 games from a championship when this was supposed to be a down year. So that's the thing. As we saw, he hired our old linebacker coach Hilo. Why did he do that? Because he wants inside information on what Michigan likes to do. So you can say what you want. This ain't the Bama boy. Nick Saban, he ain't got 6 rings by luck. He ain't got 6 rings by luck. So you got to take him serious. Obviously he takes Michigan serious if he's willing to hire somebody just to get some information on our defensive schemes, and things we like to do. So that's that, so I guess I'll start with Michigan on offense. Now, Michigan's offense will be going against Alabama's defense, of course. Alabama has a lot of sacks. Their edge rushers are very good, and they get after it. They get pressures and they get sacks. They don't just get one or the other. They get both. They do both of them. So with that being said, early in this game, Sharon Moore is going to have to find out, can my offensive line block these guys consistently? Or am I going to have to change up my game plan? Similar to the Penn State game when he saw early, we can't block these dudes. We're going to have to change it up, So look for that early to figure out, can my tackles block these guys, or am I going to have to leave tight ends in there, leave a running back to one of the sides, or chip some of these guys, or, figure out ways to get JJ time so he can throw. He's got to find that out first, because our tackles have struggled. As far as that, JJ in the run. Bama struggles against running quarterbacks, whether that's with the read or it's really with like QB sneaks or QB powers or QB draws. So with that being the case, you have to run JJ early. You have to make them, and this is where they failed us last year. They didn't run him in the first half. This game, it's one of their weaknesses, so you have to do it early to make them adjust. You can't wait. You're in the playoff. I don't know why you would wait to run something anyway, unless you're trying to set it up, but no. A QB run, you run that from the jump, because you're letting them off easy if you don't. So I'm expecting you need to see QB draws. You need to see the read. You need to see these things. You need to have designed runs for JJ, because that's one of the weaknesses of this Alabama defense. So that's another thing. Also, I know somebody's gonna say also JJ has to take his chances. When you get a chance to throw deep, you get one-on-one coverage, take your shot. Don't be trying to check it down too much. When you got a shot, take it. This ain't the game for fear and I'm not gonna risk it. Let that thing fly. You see a favorable matchup one-on-one, especially one-on-one, let it fly. Bama's Kool-Aid and the other corner, they're both handsy. They're both handsy physical corners. That's good. That can be good most of the time. But when you're that handsy and the ball's in the air, you can get pass interference quite a bit. So JJ needs to take his shots when they're there. You got to take those shots. You can't be, I'm going to check it down when you got one-on-one. Take your shot. You got to be smart about it. You got to know when to take your shot, when to check it down, the down and the distance. You have to know these things. So then your decision making becomes better when the shot is there and when you should take it. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing. But you have to stretch the field. If you don't take those shots, you don't stretch the field, Bama and those safeties, Bama's defenses in the secondary, those safeties, they'll be uptight. And if you're just dinking it, so they can kill two birds with one stone. They can sit on all your little check downs and all your little short routes. Plus, they can come up and help in the run game. So if you don't take your shots, they get to kill two birds with one stone because you're not taking those shots. You're not trying to stretch the field. So that's a big thing that they have to do. Also, Sharon Moore. I'm not sure why you hold on to play action and ball fakes like it's a secret, like it's a trick play. You have to see these things. Everybody knows Harbaugh wants to run the ball. Everybody knows you'll run the ball just like your Harbaugh. So, that being the case, teams are going to be expecting us to run the ball. So, their linebackers are going to be aggressive when they see run action. So, if you do play action, play fakes, you're going to help your wide receivers and your tight ends out a whole lot. You can't be saving it. This ain't the game for saving play action, saving QB runs, and saving stuff. Need to see all these things from the jump. Now, I've seen some teams have success on Bama running it, and that's not just with the backs. That's with the quarterback and the running backs. I'm not sure if we will. You know, that's a wait and see. You know what I'm saying? That's a wait and see. But most teams that had success running on them, they ended up losing the game. Even Auburn was close, but they still lost. So, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I think usually teams have success and beat a Bama or a Georgia by throwing the ball. So that's what you want to do. But with our tackles not, we don't know how good they're going to be in this game. You need to find out, can they block, or do you have to give them help? But you still need to throw passes in the middle and against their linebackers. That's somewhat of a weakness. Another weakness for them is their linebackers in coverage. You know what I'm saying? So you want to hit these guys with that play action and then hit them over the middle to something to Loveland, something to Barner. You know, but you definitely want to take your shots. JJ needs to take his shots when they're there to Roman Wilson, to Cornelius, to Loveland, or to even Darius Clemens might get in the game. You never know. But yeah, the offense just has to, you have to be aggressive in this game. And similar to the Ohio State game with aggressive calls, you have to be aggressive. And you also have to stretch the field and understand what you're going against. JJ can't be indecisive in this one. You have to be decisive, especially with the uptick in talent and speed that you're going to be going against this SEC team. That speed and that talent level, you're going to notice it. So you have to be prepared for it and make decisive decisions. You can't be hesitating. This ain't the game for it. So that's what I got on offense for the most part. Michigan going against Bama's defense. As far as Bama's defense, going against, I mean, as far as Michigan's defense going against Bama's offense. So I believe Nick Saban, Bama, they're going to try to run the ball to take pressure off Jalen Milroe. You don't trying to pass it all the time against a Jesse Minter defense. It's just not that bright, with all the different coverages, all the different players that are dropping into coverage or disguising that they're in coverage and blitzing. It's just not that good of an idea. So the big thing early is going to be stop the run. Stop the run. And when I say stop the run, that's not just the running backs. That's not just stopping the running backs. That's also stopping Jalen Milroe from keeping it on the read, QB powers, things like that. Because later, early in the season, they didn't really know how to use him. As the season went on, they've learned how to use him better, and they're going more to using him in the read, using him with quarterback design runs, and hitting that deep ball. So early on, I see Nick Saban trying to calm him down and also take pressure off him by establishing the run. So it's going to be crucial for the front seven and whoever's in the secondary to contain Jalen Milroe when he keeps it on the read, keep contained, and make sure you set that edge. Because this dude's a monster. This dude's a monster, honestly. He's a running back to me playing quarterback. But you're going to have to do that, because if you don't and they establish that run, then the playbook opens all the way up for Nick Saban, and now you're going to start getting deep bombs, and it's going to be too much to deal with. You know what I'm saying? So you want to stop that run and put it on Jalen Milroe to be great. And he's got a better chance at being great than Kyle McCord did, but it still ain't as easier said than done, but it helps him out that he can run. You know what I'm saying? So if he's struggling passing, he could just decide, all right, I'm going to try to win this with my legs. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. You got to continue. A guy like this puts your defense on their toes all game. So if I'm Jesse Minter, I'm doing mush rushes where I don't rush all the way up the field. I try to keep him in the pocket contained. I'm doing blitzes. I'm not blitzing him to the outside. I'm probably blitzing him up the middle and having my edge rushers do a mush rush and try to contain him so there's nowhere to go. I do those type of things. And if it just got to the point where he's doing way too much, I just flat out blitz him all game. Oh well, if we lose, I'm gonna blitz. If we lose, I turn into Don Brown almost. I don't say it that bad, but I'm gonna be blitzing. I'm blitzing. You know what I'm saying? That's if he was to start getting out of hand. But the thing is for Michigan is tackling. Tackle. All these guys got to tackle. Whether that's Jalen Miller or whether that's the running back, whether that's a wide receiver. You have to tackle. You can't be letting these guys get in the secondary. If they catch a pass, you got to get them down. If not, these guys going to be running through the defense and they're going to be saying goodnight. You know what I'm saying? So you have to you have to tackle. Like, you can give up a big play similar to an Ohio State team. You can give up a big play, but just don't let them get that monster play action deep bomb for 60, 70 yards. And now they feeling himself and he's feeling himself. Milroe's feeling himself because he just threw a bomb. You know what I'm saying? So you can give up a big play, but you have to make the tackle and try to bend but don't break. Force them into threes. Don't give up touchdown. Force them into threes. You know what I'm saying? That's a big difference in these games. Is just who's able to get touchdowns and who's kicked too many field goals. So that goes for both sides. Whoever can continuously just get touchdowns and not have to, settle for 3, probably going to win the game. And I mean, that's not saying too much, but that's just what it is. But this game is a very interesting matchup with the way both teams are laid out and also with the expectations. Nobody expects Michigan to have a chance in this game. And that's because of Harbaugh's bowl record. That's because it's a SEC. That's because Michigan in the playoff hasn't done well. But I think Michigan can beat Bama. It's just you just have to have a good game plan and execute said game plan. You can't be saving stuff for the second half and all this nonsense. Bro, you in the playoff now. You got to put all the chips out there. This ain't a we could still lose this game and our season's still good. This ain't that. So that's the big thing to me. Put all your chips on the table and see where you're at. You need to run play action from the jump. You need to run JJ from the jump. You have to do these things. JJ has to throw that deep ball when it's there. Your man's in one-on-one matchup. Let your man have a chance. You might get something. You might get 15 free yards. Or you might get a big play. You can't be playing scared in this one. Same on defense. If you got a blitz, do what you have to do in blitz. Mush rush, all these different things. You know what I'm saying? On defense, it's kind of a see what's working well and then adjust from there. You know what I'm saying? With what Bama and this dude brings to the table. The only thing that I hate is Michigan hasn't played anybody that's big and fast like this at quarterback. Yeah, they got Alex Orgy running scout team probably, but it's still different because, it's just different, But Orgy can definitely help them out. But that's about all I got for this one, y'all. Should be a good game, but we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Nobody's giving Michigan a chance, but that's why they play the games. So that's all I got. Like, share, subscribe, and as always, go blue.